Now, the thought of being a beacon can really be daunting. But our giraffe friends, who have been with us throughout the 6th series, giving us words of wisdom, are saying it's a call. It's a call to step up into our divinity without fear and without any self-serving agendas. It's our last day with the giraffes. Shonda. And Matt, you don't get enough credit. You just keep us going, keep us on beat, rocking us. We appreciate you. Thank you. Whew. Feels good, doesn't it? All right. Let's bring it down. Well, maybe not. Okay, so here we are, right? This is the conclusion of our nonviolent communication program. And here's my hope for you, that in this 6 weeks, you have awakened in a different way, that you have seen through new eyes during this time. And what my dream is that you are ready to make a new covenant. Now, covenant, the word is an interesting word, right? When we talk about it in the vernacular, in society, we're talking about an agreement. But when we look at it from a spiritual lens, a covenant is going into a committed relationship with the divine. And how are you going to show up in that committed relationship with God? So I'm going to ask the question. Don't answer it yet. I'm going to do a little thing, and then I'll ask it again, and that's when I want to hear you. So the question is, are you ready to be the beacon of light in Austin, in this community? That's what I'm asking you today. If you're online, move over to your laptop, move to your iPhone, move over, because I'm asking you, you're 50% of this community. So I'm asking you to type in a yes or a thumbs up on this. Now, I use the word beacon specifically because I'm asking if you are ready to stand up in awakened consciousness, to stand out in your love, in your power, in your light. The word beacon is defined as this: a fire or light set up in a high and prominent position. Fire or light set up high in a prominent position as a warning, signal, or celebration. So my question to you, are you ready for a new covenant? Are you ready to be the beacon of light that you already are? You just haven't stepped into it yet. I'm asking you, are you ready? Yes. Thank you. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Online, question goes to you. I will be looking online to see what the responses were, because you matter. Whether you're here in the Austin or wherever you are, Hill Country, across the pond, wherever, the time is now for you to stand up and be that light. So it's really interesting when we think about a lighthouse, right? It's a tall building, it's by the ocean, and at night, what's its function? Beam out light, right? Beam out light. But the perception of the function changes based on one's experience of it. So if we're out at sea and it's in the night and we're navigating close to the shore, right, that lighthouse is going to be seen as a warning. Don't come too close. Here's the shoreline. Be aware, right? We don't want you to damage your vessel. That same time, if that lighthouse is in close proximity to others, it flashes different signals so that mariners can pinpoint their exact location. And then when we are lost and trying to find our way home, that beacon is a celebration of our homecoming. right? The lighthouse didn't change its function, did it? It's still just beaming out the light. And yet our interpretation of what it means to us differs depending on what our needs are. And how similar are we to a lighthouse, right? We are here to be that beacon of light, to shine brightly and strongly. Now, depending on someone else's need determines how we can be perceived, right? But our ability to shine brightly does not depend on what others think of us. Did you hear me? Our shining our light, it doesn't matter what people think of us. It doesn't matter what they need from us. It doesn't matter what they feel about us. Now, the thought of being a beacon can really be daunting. But our giraffe friends, who have been with us throughout the 6th series, giving us words of wisdom, are saying it's a call. It's a call to step up into our divinity without fear and without any self-serving agendas. It's a call for integration of our humanity and our divinity. It's asking us to hold clarity that no one is against us. No one is against us, right? No one is against us. But sometimes people don't want us to shine as brightly for their own fears and their own inadequacies. But what's our function? What's our function? To be the light. To be the light. So you've said yes to being on this spiritual path, otherwise you wouldn't be here at this time in this community. You've said yes to coming and being in communion with each other and with Source. You've said yes to elevating our consciousness and transforming into our highest self. Why do we do this work? Not for our egos. It's not for our egos. It's not for us to feel important or right. That's not what it is. We said yes to all of this to be the loving expression of God, to be a beacon, to be a beacon. What does all this mean? It means that we are greater than our physical body. It means that our consciousness is higher than the accepted norms of our society as well. Do you remember last week's meditation? I don't know about you, but it was super powerful. And I heard from other people as well that it was really powerful. Because it was a blast of divine knowing, an energetic blast of divine knowing that you are simply an aspect of God. So during last Sunday's meditation, for me, what I received is just that kind of starburst of light was the representation of my soul. And it was really compelling and moved me. And in that moment, when I asked you to view your soul before you incarnated, and then have that energy enter you now, I have to tell you, in that moment, I was in coherence with the I am. I was moved to tears. And I realized I am beyond this realm. I'm here to be brave and courageous and to speak truth. I'm here to refute any fears and call you to your highest expression. I'm here to be the frequency of love, even when I feel uncertain or I'm being labeled by others. And in that moment, my soul was bigger than my body. It was beyond my body. I felt empowered, wise, and willing to really fully embrace what God is asking of me. And the most important thing, I felt equipped. Do you know what that's like? To know that what you're doing, you are already equipped to handle it, to excel in it, to be glorious in it. That is not a small thing, my friends, to be equipped. So that's what we are doing here, right? In this moment, I saw that I'm the beacon, just as you each are a beacon. Your light's going to look different than my light, but it's still going to be bright. It's still going to be strong, right? And no beacon is more vital than another. All of us are needed. All of us are necessary for the whole. So, embracing our light, embracing our giraffe, is the season of radical renewal, right? It means releasing our fears, releasing the fears of our past that told us this is who we are. That's not true. That's not true. Radical renewal is calling us to be the frequency of love and willing to see each other as the frequency of love and necessary for wholeness. So nonviolent communication is a tool that we can use to affirm our humanity, that we have feelings, that we have needs, that we have values, and then to integrate that into our wholeness. You know, often as spiritual practitioners, we feel a little shame about having human attributes and human needs, right? And we often perceive our feelings and needs as like these dirty secrets that, you know, real spiritual people don't have. Not true. Just saying. Because whatever we believe that is not of God separates us. It separates us. It separates us from an amazing connection to spirit and to each other, and from our own divinity. And it doesn't really take a huge amount of effort to follow these formulas for us to feel honored and valued. Now, I know I started off most of these sessions with when you, I feel, I need, those kind of things, right? But, you know, I had an experience recently with a stranger, and it was just loving. So my phone battery's dying, and my phone says, oh, your battery, you need to get a new battery. So I'm like, okay. It's only 2.5 years old. I'm thinking, really? Already? So I do my due diligence. I call up the carrier. What do I have to do? Okay, here's the agents. You have to go to authorized agent to get your phone fixed. I'm like, okay, got it all set up. What's the documentation? Okay, got it all set up. And I go in, and this lovely man helps me. And it's the weirdest thing having somebody touch your phone. You know, you're like, what are you doing over there? And he was so cool. He's like, okay, so here, is it okay if I touch this button here? And this is why I'm going to do it, and this is what's going to happen. I was just like, you're an angel. You know, it was just like all of that nervous energy just kind of dissipated. And he was just so kind. And then finally, we figure out that even though I've been paying $10 a month for coverage, the coverage that normally just you go in and get it fixed and replaced for free, that expired. But they didn't tell me when I was on the phone with the tech person. They didn't say, oh, so now you're in a claims situation. So I go in there and I'm thinking, this guy's going to replace the phone for free or minimal cost, right? No. No. But he doesn't kick me to the curb. What he does is he's like, okay, so I'm going to research a little bit for you. He finds out where do I go to do the claims, right? Pulls up the URL. And then he just waits patiently as I go through the process. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. You know, and I'm saying to him, I'm feeling embarrassed because I'm saying to him, but I did the due diligence. I took action. And he's like, that must feel really frustrating when you feel like you've done everything that you could to set yourself up and it still didn't work out. I was like, did you attend the class? And at the end, he patiently waits, and they are going to send me another phone to replace it, right? And in all of that, I'm like, okay, so can I pay you for your time? Because it's about 50 minutes that we were together. He's like, no, it's really okay. I'm like, well, can I at least give you a stellar review? And he's like, well, no, because you need a ticket number for fixing the phone, which I don't have because we didn't fix the phone. And it was just this sweet moment, of human to human, of just being nice and respected and valued. And I left that store just feeling joy and filled with possibilities. And I have to tell you, it sustained my hope in humanity. Just that one little thing. Do you hear that? That's the ripple that we have, that we don't think that we have that kind of impact on others, but we do. And here's the other piece. I help too, right? I help too because I put myself in the mindset. I'm going to go to this place. They're going to help me. They're going to be lovely. It's going to be replaced with ease and grace, right? So I showed up there with that as well. And I decided to trust this man, knew what he was going to do, and would handle it. I didn't have to second guess him. I didn't have to talk to my geek husband and go, okay, so what's he supposed to do? I didn't have to do any of that, right? And in my vulnerability of saying, it's so nerve-wracking and to put in my code with you right there, it freed it up to just be one human to another human. I didn't have to be like prickly and defensive, right? And he was just like, I got you. I got you. And I have to say, for a city girl like me, who has learned some very expensive lessons in trusting the wrong people, I am amazed that I could stand before you and say that I still choose love. I still choose to trust. While knowing that if something happens, God's got this. I'm taken care of, right? Because what am I here to be? I'm here to be the beacon. I'm here to be the frequency of love. So, sometimes when I'm trying to be that frequency of love, it's magnificence, and other times not so much. But it's still my intention. And I still show up. I love myself for where I was at the time of it. And I'm like, well, maybe next time I can do better. So, my hope for you is that this season of radical renewal, that you don't just check the box, I took a class. Wasn't Sandra and Anita and Rick great? Wasn't my spirit circle leader fab? Read the book, can put it back on the shelf. No, I'm hoping that you really embrace this tool as a way for us to engage in kindness with each other, as a way for you truly to become all you were meant to be, a beacon of hope in the world. There's a poem by Marianne Williamson that many of you know, Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. You playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. Even the person that cut you off down the street as you were coming here. But I digress. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's what we're doing here, my loves. Namaste.